back, red closes and then rallying surprisingly at the last session yesterday, going up by 0.38%, bringing the all-share index back to 33,384.59 points, of course, having positive influences on the market breadth by raising 27 gainers and 21 laggards at the close of trading yesterday. Of course, other issues coming up currently at the Nigerian equities market. The devaluation of the naira is very much in talks now. Joining us on the show to bring more light to these numbers and, of course, telling us how the broader issues are affecting the Nigerian equities market is Rotimi Fakayejo, stockbroker and dealer, and, of course, CEO Enterprise Capital. Hello, Rotimi. How are you this morning?
Hello, morning. Good to go.
Now, after 4 sessions in the red, we now saw a surprising rally yesterday with the all-share index going up 0.38%. What were the drivers of this rally, Rotimi?
Well, yesterday was like a summer for the market, which lost marginally.
Rotimi, we did talk about the factors that may have been pulling down the consumer good index in our last conversation. Now, interestingly, that index led other 3 sectoral indices that gained at the session yesterday. What particular stocks pulled up that index yesterday, Rotimi?
Can you hear me?
Rotimi, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So that yesterday we saw market rebounding and later I do continue.
Well, we apologize for the poor audio in that conversation. We will try to establish contact as soon as we can. Issues currently going on in the Nigerian equities market, which has been topsy-turvy for 2 weeks now. Sessions where sometimes we would have seen 1 day in the red and 4 days in the green, like it occurred last week, where we had Monday in the red and the 4 other sessions during the end to the end of the week ended in the red session. And then surprisingly yesterday the market rallied and then went up 0.38%. Of course, shocking analysts as well who have speculated that as a result of the fact that the president has not issued a policy statement on the economy, we will still continue to see lackluster activities in the Nigerian equities market. Also, in the talks at the Nigerian equities market have been current talks about a possible devaluation of the naira. Of course, also on the sidelines of waiting decisions at the coming NPC meeting next sitting Harriet. Lots of issues coming up there in the Nigerian equities market.
Yes, unfortunately, we couldn't get an analyst perspective on it. But be that as it may, like Rosen would always say, we know that right now the markets are just awaiting policy direction from the president.
And it's now 26 days.
Who's moved into the villa. And we're also hoping that, by this week we get to know who his management team is going to be made up of. The Senate resumes, the National Assembly resumes plenary today as well. So that's also in the news. But with regards, looking at ample liquidity in the market, we're not seeing any treasury bill sales. We're not seeing any OMO auctions as well. But we know that investors are taking position, in the bonds market and the treasury bills market, where there seems to be a lot of liquidity going on. So you're taking from the equities market and you're putting it into the fixed income market, which has not been doing particularly badly in the last couple of days. But I'm not going to hold my breath too much.
We just have to see how that goes.
Market. No, I'm not. You know why? Because investors have been very wary. And, the Nigerian Stock Exchange held a roadshow in London with regards to dual listing and the rest of it. And all it's just to drum up, more positive investment sentiments towards the Nigerian equities market.
And then it's beginning to appear that London is beginning to show more interest in the Nigerian equities market. We also have our eyes on you here on Business Morning on Channels Television.
So with all of that coming in, with all the market news and what's word from the street is that investors might begin to have, a relatively more positive attitude, towards the market. And don't forget, we're also in this, we've got another how many days to the end of the month. And then, that's the end of the second quarter. And so we should be expecting to see
the earning seasons are coming closer.
And it's not been a particularly, interesting year for for most of the companies listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange or even outside of Nigerian Stock Exchange for that matter, especially with the elections, the valuation.
The macroeconomics have had large influences on those sectors.
It's been an interesting time, so let's not really hold our breath and expect to see very positive second quarter earnings, but hopefully we'll get to talk to Rotimi later on in the day to get a feel of what the markets are looking like. Of course, the markets have already started trading. It's still early trade at the market, so but because we couldn't speak to Rotimi Fakejo to get his perspectives on what the markets will be looking like, analyst prediction, however, is that the markets might close mildly in positive territory today, boosted mostly by banking stocks, of course, stocks from the from commodities and industrial subsector.